Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kinberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. We're going to continue our look at this year's Niall Marshall Award winners for the best in New Zealand's crime fiction. Let's look at another one of the finalists for that award this year. Nikki Crutchley's The Murder Club. As the novel begins, journalist Miller Hatcher has moved from Auckland to work at the Leinford Leader, a small-town newspaper. One day she gets an anonymous note that says, "Miller, tonight it begins. I look forward to the journey." Meanwhile, Cassie Hughes, who's recently finished psychiatric treatment at the Oaks, has also moved back to Leinford. Her mother, Margaret, was murdered there, and she wants to find out who committed the crime. When she meets Miller, Cassie finds out she's a journalist and asks her to look into her mother's death. Miller suggests that the police would actually do a better job of it, but Cassie insists. So Miller agrees to do the story. As Miller is beginning the background research, she meets Logan Dodds, who runs a local true crime enthusiasts club. In fact, he even gives tours of true crime sites. Miller is hoping he'll be able to shed some light on Margaret Hughes' death. Then, the body of Tamara Johnson is discovered in her home. Miller starts working on that story too with her friend detective Kau Paratas, and soon begins to wonder whether it's related to the earlier deaths and to the note that she got. If so, this could mean that there will be more murders. And that's exactly what happens. Soon the lives of Miller, Cassie, and Logan intersect as each tries to find answers. So what are some of the elements that hold this story together? What are some of the elements that we really see woven through it? Well, one of them is a strong sense of small-town New Zealand. Leinford is a small town where everyone knows everyone, and if you haven't lived there for 10 years, you're not accepted yet. Another element that's woven through this novel is that past history impacting the present. Readers who enjoy past crimes connecting with current crimes will appreciate this part of the novel. The death of Margaret Hughes, the current murders, and the past of some of the characters all intersect, and we see how, in a sense, one leads to another. There's also the issue of facing the past. We see that with Miller Hatcher's own backstory. She actually moved to Leinford because she was, if you want to put it this way, professionally demoted. We also look at Cassie dealing with her past and her mother's murder, and some of the other characters have pasts as well. There's also the fact of a strong female lead character. Miller Hatcher is a strong character. She's been damaged, she has her issues, she has faults as we all do, but she doesn't drown herself in drink or drugs. She doesn't ignore the fact that she has issues. It doesn't mean she can't interact with people. And we see in the end how, as each of the characters faces the past, we see how that sort of leads to a resolution in the book. So the Murder Club has a set of murders. It has the issue of how the past murder are connected to the present murders. And when we find out the truth, when we find out what's really going on with these murders, we see that's sort of an issue of the past as well. Now, readers who don't like to see multiple murders in a book will want to know that there are several here. The language is not particularly explicit. There's not a lot of gore and violence. There's some, but it's off stage more than on stage. So readers who dislike a lot of blood and violence will be glad to know that. The Murder Club shows us modern New Zealand too, both the journalistic efforts and the interactions of people. It's a book that really offers a look at a small town in New Zealand. This has been In the Spotlight. I'm Margot Kinberg. Thanks for watching.